Hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
And if the sun goes down on you, you gotta keep that shine on top, yeah. On top, yeah. On top.
Today I am going to be filming a little bit of a different kind of video than I have ever filmed before, really. It's going to be, I guess, kind of a way to get to know me, really, and know about kind of how I grew up into the person I am today, or maybe even share some of my personal experiences that you guys might be going through also. So yeah, I'm gonna be kind of doing a two-in-one basically video of both freshman advice and new kids for maybe any of you that might be going to a completely new school and you're not sure what to expect or how to act or really what to do. I hope this video is helpful to some of you guys. That is my main goal, is to kind of help any of you that might be in this situation that I have been and give you some tips that I wish I would have known whenever I was going into these situations. So basically I feel as though I was able to experience a kind of freshman year twice. So I feel like as a freshman you're kind of nervous about new changes, how high school is going to be, is it really how it appears in the movies, how to act. Honestly, I don't know. When I was 14, obviously I got to be a freshman and I got to experience that and learn from that. But then when I turned 15 and it was my sophomore year, I kind of got to experience the whole nerves and I guess the whole like not knowing how to act and everything that I just said basically all over again. So I moved from Southern Texas when I was a sophomore in high school to Southern California. I knew no one in my new school. It was completely different than what I was used to. So I was born and raised in Texas, so I was used to a certain environment that was very different than whenever I moved here. But I do want to start out by saying that the whole experience of moving is probably one of the things that has helped me grow the most as a person, and I think it kind of goes along with the whole persona of saying once you like go out of your comfort zone is whenever you grow the most individually. So whenever I moved, I was put into an uncomfortable position. Obviously you don't know anyone, you don't know where any of your classes are, which is the same thing when you're a freshman. You don't know the teachers, you kind of don't know really how the whole system works. And so whenever I moved from Texas to California, it didn't really hit me actually that I was the new kid basically on campus until I think the morning of when I was walking into school. And I was like, crap, I don't have a group of friends that I can walk to, or I don't have a friend that I can text and I can say, hey, where do you want to meet up, you know, or hey, what are your classes, or who are you going after school? This is going to be such a long video. I'm going to try to make this as organized as I can. So I think I'm going to start out by talking about my experience as a new kid. I'll put the timestamps down below so that it can be a little bit easier for you guys to skip around to the video wherever you actually came here for. On my first day of school, I walked in and I realized I knew nobody, and I didn't know the campus at all. I didn't know. The biggest difference really is that if you live in California, maybe, I think this is almost all over, probably not in the north, but I think Southern California is all the same, to where most campuses are outdoors, whereas in Texas everything was indoors. So that was really weird for me. And then we had both a break and a lunch, whereas in Texas we only had lunch. And so really I had to like worry about, those are the two most crucial things I feel like whenever you're going to a new school, is figuring out who you're supposed to talk to and kind of hang out with, so you're not alone during break and during lunch. I got to experience the whole like new kid kind of stereotype sort of experiences, I guess that's called. Waited alone in the bathroom by myself during breaks. I hated for probably like the first 2-3 weeks. It was basically like a 10-minute passing period, or like, yeah, kind of a 10-minute passing period between third period and fourth period, to where you could kind of obviously just like talk with your friends and stuff. Other than that, passing period is only 5 minutes, so you just would walk to class and that was it. But during break, I also didn't have anyone to talk to, so I got to go and I would basically just walk around campus or wait in line in the bathroom, even though I didn't have to go to the bathroom. So that was not fun. But after that, I had 2 class periods and then I'd have lunch. So lunch wasn't as bad for me because luckily I had one of my teachers, which was I think my 5th period teacher, had actually asked the whole class if there were any new kids in that class, and I had thought that I saw somebody else raise their hand, but I think they did it as a joke, and so I raised my hand. Otherwise, I honestly probably wouldn't have raised my hand if I was the only one in the class. I hate like being the center of attention, or especially in that kind of position where you know nobody. You don't want everybody looking at you. Basically, that's just like not what you want, or I don't want. And so I raised my hand, and then she asked me, where are you from? Like, why did you move here? And then she asked if there was anybody else in the class that had the same 5th period as me. Yeah, so that was 4th period, and then she asked if anybody had the same 5th period as me. And so basically that saved me for lunch because I did have somebody else that could walk me to 5th period. And but this is where you kind of do have to go out of your comfort zone and really push yourself to go and be more outgoing and whatnot. Something that you can't really forget and you kind of have to think is that everybody else there already has a set group of friends. So people aren't really gonna go, I mean, there might be those few people, don't get me wrong, but majority of people aren't gonna go out of their way to talk to you because, as harsh as it sounds, they don't need to, or they may not want to because they're comfortable where they're at. Whereas you kind of need people to talk to. So you have to be the one to really go up to them and introduce yourself. And even I had to do this, and I had to go and say like, hey, like, is there any way I can hang out with you at lunch? And if it weren't for that, I probably would have had to do the same thing I did during break and go and walk around class. The only reason I was able to eat lunch with her was because I had 5th period with her and lunch was right afterwards, and so we would just walk together. Whereas I didn't have her phone number still, so I couldn't go and text her and ask her where she was during break. And that also just wasn't like me to be that, I guess, invasive in a way, to be like, hey, can I have your phone number, you know? So even asking for her to hang out with me on lunch was a little bit uncomfortable. But it's something that you really do kind of have to push yourself to do and be able to do, to really, I guess, make friends in a way, or just get more comfortable out there. Because once you do make, not even if they're like hangout friends or like outside of school friends, there's 2 types of friends. There's the school friends that you only talk to in school, and then there's your best friends that you hang out with after school and that you text after school and you talk to about other stuff than school. And so for a few weeks, or probably just, or at least I only had really school friends that I could talk to during school, and if I came across them, then I would come across them and I would socialize. So once I did that, I was able to kind of have somebody also show me around and tell me a little bit about the people in my classes, the different clubs that there were, what teachers were like, different activities that the school had, what school there was like, and just really getting to know more people. Because once you just meet at least one person, chances are through that one person you'll be able to meet other people, because like I said, most people already have their set group of friends, at least their 2nd year in high school. Everyone there basically, almost, not everyone, but like the majority of people there had grown up in that city. And I went to a big high school, both in Texas and California. Each one had 3,000 to 4,000 kids, and so it's easy to get kind of lost in the sea of people, and so it is harder to, in a way, be noticed or to be just recognized, and people for to actually be like, oh, like, that's a new kid. In a way, the only way I think people actually knew I was new is because of my one teacher that went and asked, are there any new kids? And none of my other teachers actually did that, so that was probably the biggest lifesaver for me. But if your teacher isn't gonna go and kind of go out of their way to ask if there are any new kids, the biggest kind of things you're gonna have to worry about are basically going and asking for somebody to hang out with during lunch, because that's the biggest time where you're kind of on your own, and then also during break. And then from there, things will kind of fall into place really, and just be able to meet more people that you'll have somebody to talk to, and you won't have to just rely on one person, because I know that I did kind of follow around that one girl for at least a good month or two until I got to meet more people on my own. Yeah, so that was kind of my experience of being like the new kid, and honestly that was my sophomore year, and I don't think I actually had a good group of friends until my senior year, which is also normal whether you're the new kid or not, so don't go and like overthink that. Like they said, the people that you enter high school with won't be the same people that you leave high school with, most likely. There are definitely those cases where you'll have those friends that are just awesome friends and you'll know for the rest of your life, but I think I really found my good group of friends senior year, and I was only able to do that because every year I kind of found a way to push myself more. Freshman and sophomore year, actually, I only went to one of the like 4 or 5 dances that year. Junior year, I think I went to 2 maybe, and then senior year, I basically made it my mission to go to every single dance and every single football game, basketball. Oh, I went to every single football game, but basketball games and any other activities, I would go to as many as possible, to where you really put yourself out there to meet more people. And it's kind of like a blessing in disguise of being a new kid. So I don't want whoever may be in this like situation that you're starting this year, you're gonna be nervous, and that's totally normal. You're gonna be anxious, you might sweat a little bit. I know I did. It'll all be over before you know it. Like looking back, that was 4 years ago for me, and I think that was honestly, know that being a new kid and moving halfway across the country also did help me a lot grow as a character and as a person and as an individual. So yeah, so that's the end for that kind of section of this video of my experience as a new kid and kind of advice. And then this next portion is kind of gonna be, I feel like, mushed into 2, to where I talk about freshman advice and confidence tips, because I feel like it could go both ways. So if I could go and talk to myself again from my freshman and sophomore year, something that I would just say and probably yell into my own face is, the people that you know and are dying to be accepted by or to impress or to like have them notice you won't matter at all in 4 years. And it's kind of like a slap in the face for me, honestly, because I know that even moving from freshman year to sophomore year, and the people that I had grown up with, and I was so worried about what they thought about me and being accepted and finding people in a certain group of people to be liked by, even the people that I was close to and then didn't talk to me a year afterwards, because you go and you move on with your life. You take different paths, you go different routes, you find different interests, and you meet new people. So going and stressing out about it so much, about how you may look, how you may dress, getting the newest thing that everybody else has, really won't matter. It's just not worth all of your thought and all of your time, honestly. It goes both ways for both freshmen and new kids. Do what makes you happy and what makes you feel more confident in what you want to do, honestly. For me, even though this kind of contradicts what I just said, for me, wearing that new outfit that I like and that I feel really good in and that I just love makes me feel more confident and me just happy in general. That's what it is. Then go and wear what you want, not what other people want, or go and do and join the activities that you want and not what other people want. Once everybody goes off to college and they're on their own, yeah, you'll have your times obviously to where you get back together and you catch up and whatnot, but you won't care as much what they think about you, because you'll be worrying and they'll be worrying about a new group of people that they're trying to get accepted by and they're trying to meet. And life is too short really in general to be so stressed out about and let those 4 years that you'll never get back fly by, not making you happy and instead the other people around you happy. Whereas confidence tips, I feel like, is the biggest thing, is caring so much about what other people think about you. I remember I would wake up at least an hour before getting ready and doing my makeup, I'd pick out my outfits the night before. I would make sure that if all these girls had gotten this new item that was just super trendy and I didn't have it yet, I would do everything in my power. I'd ask for Christmas, for my birthday, I'd save up for it. I'd find some way to be able to get it because I would feel more included, or I would feel more accepted and blended in a way, which that's not at all the mindset that you should have. Doing that, I feel like, just pushes your own personality and your character of who you are deeper and deeper down. Makes it harder for it to actually come out and find a good group of friends that actually accepts you for who you are. That's probably honestly my biggest tip where its confidence comes from, is just not worrying so much about what other people are thinking of you and doing what makes you happy and what you enjoy doing. So when I had lived in Texas, if you have ever been to the South, or you've maybe even just been to Texas, you will probably notice that it's not that diverse. And obviously I'm Asian, and in my classes I was one of probably 2 or 3 Asians in my class. So you could say that I was a minority, and I was even more worried about, I think that was the biggest impact on me, was already feeling so out of place because of my ethnicity that I had to find every other way possible to go and feel accepted and in a way mixed in with everybody else. It was because of my physical appearance. I couldn't change anything about it, that I would do anything else about the materialistic things to be able to fit in, basically. And that was probably the biggest blessing also, being able to move from the South to the West. Was just going to be able to experience life in a different way and realizing that where you are at that point isn't the only option for you in the long run. So even though high school may feel like it's forever, I don't want you guys to kind of go where I was or think how I used to think and just worry so much basically about what those people that are around you would think or say or do, because I know that that's what affected my confidence the most, is because I would get picked on every now and then. I don't want to take it to the extremity of being bullied, but I would get picked on every now and then about my race, and they would go and make Asian jokes to me from probably my middle school years. I think that's whenever it started until I moved in freshman year. So that always kind of killed my confidence a little bit and how I looked at myself as a person. I never felt like I was pretty or that boys liked me, and feel like I would never get attention from boys, as stupid as that sounds. But obviously as a girl, that is something that you kind of like start to notice in your teenage years. And so that was one of the reasons too why the whole confidence was always an issue for me. Like looking back now, I do realize how young and naive I was to go and just see it as that was basically my forever, and to go and care so much what girls or boys or just all of the people around me thought about me. It's really a waste of time to go and worry about so much what those few, maybe from like hundreds to thousands, couple thousand, few thousands of people may think about you, even though that sounds like a lot, and to go and think that those people define you, really. And I let that happen to me, and that's not something I would ever tell my younger siblings to do, or basically anybody else that asks me for advice, whether you're a freshman or you're the new kid. And it's just to really be you and do what makes you happy. Yeah. This was kind of a little bit of a rambly video, and it definitely wasn't as organized as I wanted it to be, but I hope this helps some of you guys and kind of maybe lets you kind of learn more about me and get to know me a little bit more. If there's anything or any questions that you guys have, leave them down below and I will definitely make sure to answer you. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for all of your love and support, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.